So they'll walk off the clipping penalty here against Asheville School.
Clipping number 12.
So clipping is called against Chris Dalton of the Blues. And it'll be Asheville School ball, first down and 10. Out of the 16-yard line. They take out, hand off, come over the right side, and not a whole lot of running room. As the Greenies get over and close the play down, maybe a pick of about a yard. Welcome. For the Greenies at the 9-yard line.
And as we said earlier, they'll shoot this linebacker. This time he comes to the middle, leaves the outside wide open, and Langford able to make some positive things happen for the Greenies.
John James on the tackle for the Blues. First and goal, Greenies at the 9. He'll send a man in motion. Palmer will pitch it back. The ball bounced right back up to Langford. It took an artificial turf bounce right back up to him. But he will lose big yardage. Back behind the 15, back to about the 18-yard line where it'll be second and goal.
Well, luck's all part of the game, Don. A very lucky bounce for the Greenies that time. But, you know, that has been their Achilles heel all year long, has been the turnovers. And that time, lucky to keep in possession of the ball. As you see the keys to the game for the Greenies, they got to mix it up on offense as they did last week when we saw them. And keep this Blue defense off balance today.
Palmer will take out. Ball possession play again with Langford over the left side, and he'll get to about the 20-yard line, and it'll be third and goal from the 20. Again, our keys to the game, like you said, Chuck, mix it up on offense. Got to maintain that defensive intensity, and on a day like today with the wind and just the cold, special teams are going to come into
That's right, especially with the wind blowing the way it is. Kicking into this wind or kicking with the wind will make a big difference today.
Palmer will check up under center. He'll take out, looking to throw for the first time. Looks into the left corner of the end zone. It's a battle for the football, and it'll be incomplete as they threw into double coverage in the right corner of the end zone. And it looks like it's going to be a field goal attempt of 37 yards, but it will be into a stiff wind. Mark McQueen, soccer-style kicker, who has got the foot. The problem is going to be with this wind. Can he have the accuracy?
Well, he'll be interested on this hole here. The holder has gloves on.
Good snap, good hold. McQueen's kick is up, and it's going to be no good. Short and off to the right side. The wind grabbed hold of it. And so the Blues defense holds after the Greenies had it first and goal at the 9. They come up with a couple of big defensive plays and hold, and first down and 10 Blues at their own 20-yard line.
That's right. The Blues are ringing true there. Their defense has saved them after the offense came over and made this turnover, and it was definitely the defense that saved them on this series.
Chris Dalton leads the Blues up, takes out, turns, hands it off to Gene Joyce, and Joyce finds the corner and has big yardage carrying the football out to about the 35-yard line, 40-yard line, excuse me.
And as you watch this replay, you'll see right here, it's just a give and get to the corner as quick as you can. Makes that little juke step to make it look like he's going inside to set up his blocks, and then boom, after the outside he goes.
Always stay with your first instincts. It was a 35-yard line, where it will be first and 10. Dalton takes out. First back through, straight in the middle goes the fullback, Austin Stanton. And Stanton will barrel forward to about the 38. He finds about 3. As we look at the keys to the game for the Blues, don't become predictable on offense. They've been struggling all year long on offense.
Right.
Let the defense carry you. That defense has been so dominant, they need to let what works carry you. And again, special teams as well for the Blues.
They run that multiple set offense, and they need to really keep it mixed up today.
They turn and get it at Joyce. Joyce was fumbling the football or juggling it as he was taken off going left side, but he's able to still carry it across the 40 out to about the 43-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and short. Third, we'll call it 2 for the Blues at their own 43-yard line. So right away, you can see a couple of times the Blues just having a tough time hanging on that football.
It's hard for them to hang on the ball. I don't know if their hands are frozen or what the deal is, but they're definitely having a hard time holding on to the football today.
3rd and 2. They go with the fullback up the middle. He'll have the first down and then some, as Stanton cracks it across the 45 out to the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 Blues.
So when you're having a hard time holding on to the football, let's just give it to the fullback and send him straight up the middle. A very safe play.
Our referees for today's ball game, Rudy Triana. The referee, the umpire, Frank Lewis, and lineman is Dave Parham, the line judge, Daryl Shoup, and the back judge. As they come on 1st and 10, take it over the right side, carrying it with Joyce, and Joyce will find maybe about a yard, and that's all. As the snowflakes begin to come down.
You know they are, aren't they, Don? Just a little whiff of snow here. I'll tell you, these Greenies are fired up today. Coach Knight has talked about the spirit that they've had. And you come out here, this big rivalry here, and they're going crazy, standing up, shouting, hollering, and screaming. That's just a fun day for football.
And tech out, turn, flags go down. More than likely somebody was in motion. And we'll see what Rudy Triana will tell us here. He'll say that it was a motion penalty against Asheville School, so they'll back them up 5, and instead of 2nd and 9, it'll be 2nd and 14.
And Don, this is the only game that quite a few of these fans get to see all year long. It's the only game they make it to. Over in the stands a second ago, I heard one lady asking why he was throwing that rag down on the field.
2nd down and 14 for the Blues. They turn, hand it off, and that's going to be Joyce taking it left side and picking up blockers, and he'll get it out to about the 48-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 3rd down and 9.
And so far, this Greenie defense doing a good job, Don. Just making some tough yards up here, making these yards tough for the Blues.
So 3rd and long, Asheville School, 3rd and 9 at their own 48-yard line. Dalton leads them up, split backs behind him and wideouts to either side. Mixed up in the backfield, handed off to Joyce, and he'll be stopped at the 49-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and long, and more than likely punting time for Coach Ron Bromley.
Well, Don, as you watch the replay, you'll see right here, it's just a mix-up in the backfield, and that's as good a defense for the Greens as you want. It slows the play down, gives them time to set up and make something happen.
So 4th down, punting time. John James gets a good punt away. That will hit and take an Asheville School bounce and almost into the end zone, and it does go into the end zone. The Blues make a mental mistake letting that ball get away, as number 82, John Cooper, couldn't hang on to the pigskin at around the 2-yard line. It rolled into the end zone, touched back, and that ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
And you're right, Donnell. Big mistake there. They had a chance to down that thing on the 1-foot line, and he was just waiting, and it took that second bounce right there, and it just took off toward the end zone fast, and he just could not get to it.
He had plenty of time to grab hold of the football, got a little greedy. Wanted to down it as close as he could to the goal line, and that cost him. So 1st down and 10, Christ School at their own 20-yard line as Trenholm Palmer leads them up the line of scrimmage. They'll send Will Dye in motion, and Palmer will take out, turn, hand it off, and coming left side is Jason Ruckert, and Ruckert will carry it forward for about 8 yards.
And you know, Don, it took these, last time we saw these Greenies, it took them just a little while to get started. Right now, they're just a little slow in the backfield with their handoffs and things. They look like they're at about 3/4 speed, but like I said before, you know, about the first quarter, second quarter, they usually get cranked up.
Good look at that Greenie there on the screen. 2nd down and 2. Christ School at their own 28-yard line. Palmer again will send Dye in motion. They'll take out, turn, hand it off. They'll go with it right up the middle. First down and more. As Jonas Nance carries it out to the 36-yard line. First down and 10. Greenies. Clock running. 4:10 and counting here. First quarter and nothing our score.
And the Blues in that 6 defense there lined that linebacker up behind the tackle that time. They've got him back behind there this time. Just let him play down the line.
Palmer again will send Dye in motion on 1st and 10 at 36. They turn, hand it off, try a little inside reverse once again with Ruckert, and it doesn't work at all this time, as there to close it down was James Robertson. Robertson, a junior out of Houston, Texas, closes it down for a yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd down and 11.
And Don,
that should be at Soldier Field.
I tell you, this is something, isn't it? Golly.
2nd down and 11. Palmer again will send Dye in motion. Back to throw it. Looks, throws, and overthrows his intended receiver, who is George Sewell, at around the 45-yard line. So
and
that will bring up 3rd and long. 3rd and 11 for the Greenies at their own 35-yard line.
And Sewell was there, Don. He was wide open. He had gotten in that little section out there in between the defenders, and he was ready. If the ball hadn't been overthrown, it was a good job by Sewell to get open. Just an overthrown pass.
So 3rd and 11, Christ School, their own 35-yard line. Again, Dye will go in motion. Palmer takes out, rolls, under some pressure, gets rid of it, but over his intended receiver, Dye, at around the 40-yard line. And so that will bring up 4th and long and punting time, and Christ School will have to go and kick into this strong win.
And it is. It's a strong win, and it stings today, Don.
It really does.
You're right. I expect to look out on the field and see Mike Ditka walking back and forth. I tell you, it's chilly out here today. Good for the ball players.
Makes you feel like you should be at an old Metropolitan Stadium up in Minneapolis. Bud Grant was stalking the sidelines for the Vikings.
The old ice bowl.
Lanigan's going to call timeout. He counts people out there, and I don't think the Christ School had enough men on field. And indeed they don't. They only had 10 men on the field. And so the Greenies will use a timeout here and get a man out on field. And so with timeout, 3:01 left here first quarter. We'll come back after this. With you. And today's special telecast being brought to you in part by 4 Star Sports. Watch for their new location coming soon to Asheville. 4th and 11 for the Greenies. Lanigan on to punt it away, and he gets off a high end-over-end kick into the wind. It'll be taken in about the 35-yard line, and then a tackle right away as John Cooper snowed under right away. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blues.
George Sewell's doing a good job getting down there on the coverage, Don. He got down there, and he gave him the fake, and Sewell breaking down and making that tackle, not overrunning it like a lot of them have a tendency to do.
1st and 10 Blues at their own 38-yard line.
Interesting today, you know, Christ School doesn't have a band. The band's from T.C. Robertson today.
Yeah. They go with it right up the middle with the fullback, and finding good yardage is Stanton. And Stanton will carry it out across the 40, 45, and be close to a first down out at the 46-yard line. 2nd down and 2.
And you can see this just to let him have the ball back in the backfield and kind of pick his hole straight ahead, blocking all the way. I'll tell you, 2:11 left to go in the first quarter. Somebody's going to have to start establishing something here.
2nd down and 2. Dalton takes out, turns, hands it off, second back through. And Gene Joyce will have a first down, and he'll be into Greenie territory at the Christ School 49-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 there for the Blues.
Well, Don, there's no lack of hitting going on out here today. I was watching the secondary at that time when I played, and they were going downfield, and they're just out there going crazy on each other. As you watch the replay here, you see just a quick handoff, try to get him between the guard and the tackle there, but the Greenie defense tightens up.
1st and 10 Blues. They go again with the fullback, and he just drags tacklers forward. Stanton moves that pile forward close to the Christ School 45-yard line, and he found 4 tough yards. 2nd down and 6 for the Blues, and right now they're just playing come-at-you football.
That's right. Nothing fancy here. No counters, no reverses. Just take it to you. A lot of straight-ahead blocking right now. Hard football.
2nd and 6. Dalton takes out, turns, hands it off to Joyce, trying to find room out on the corner, and he won't. There's about 6 green shirts over there around him on the tackle. One of those there, Jason Ruckert, also joined in by Todd Johnson. It's a loss of about a half yard on the play, and we'll bring up 3rd and a long 6 for the Blues. And we'll call it the Christ School 46-yard line.
And they tried something that time. They bought both guards. They bought the offside guard and the near guard that time. But neither one of them blocked Ruckert. He ran right between them and was able to get in there and make the tackle.
3rd and long. Dalton takes out, wants to throw under pressure, gets leveled as he throws it, and it's incomplete. Looking for John Cooper. But Dalton just got leveled as Billy Francis was the man that shot the gap and got back there. It was right in his face.
And that's the most vulnerable time if you're a quarterback. I'll tell you right now, as you're letting that ball go, and he did, he took a heck of a lick right there just as he let that ball go. Glad to see him get up after that one.
David Marsh will drop back deep to receive the punt of John James, and it will take a Christ School bounce as it's a short kick, and the ball will be down at about the 21-yard line. So 1st down and 10 for the Greenies at their own 21-yard line with just 27 seconds left in the 1st quarter, and still nothing our score.
Well, listen, we knew that the Blues were going to be tough on defense, Don, and I'll tell you, the Greenies have come out here and really kept the Blues in their place out here today.
1st and 10 Greenies, the 21. They bring a man in motion. Palmer takes out, hands it off to Langford, trying to find room out of the corner, and nothing doing. As John James over there to make a tackle on Langford. He picked up maybe a couple. It'll be 2nd down and about 8, and that play will bring us to the end of the first 12 minutes of action here at Christ School this afternoon. So through the 1st quarter of play, still nothing our score, as we've got exactly what we expected. A hard-hitting football game here in Arden this afternoon. And we'll come back. We'll bring you 2nd quarter action when we return after these messages.
Together with me, pizza or cheeseburger?
And it's cold.
It is plenty cold.
I'll tell you.
But so far, I think we've seen pretty much what we expected. Neither team really able to get on track offensively. And on a day like today, you figure that it may really become a defensive struggle.
It may be. You know, what may come down to it is the first one that makes a mistake on defense may end up letting the other team score.
2nd down and 8 as we start the 2nd quarter. As Palmer will check up under center. He'll bring Dye in motion. Takes out, turns, hands it off. Langford with a hole, and he'll come forward to about the 30-yard line, and that'll be about a yard shy of the 1st down, where it'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and a long 1, we'll call it, for the Greenies. So we watch the replay.
And you want to give that Greenie line a lot of credit that time, Don, because he was never touched until he got in the secondary.
Langford able to pick up about 7 on the play, 3rd and a long 1. Palmer takes out, hands it off, 2nd back through, 1st down. And a flag also comes down late into the fray as Will Dye carries it out to the 35-yard line. And we're going to see a penalty tacked on also here against Asheville School. One would think it would be a face mask.
You'd think from where it was thrown, it was something like that.
It's a personal foul.
Probably a late hit or something in there that we didn't see, Don, but I'll tell you right there, that helps the Greenies. You know, any way you can make those yards, whether it's running the ball, passing the ball, or getting them on penalties, you want every yard you can get.
That'll bring the ball out right at the midfield stripe. for the personal foul penalty against Asheville School, and the ball will be just across the midfield stripe. First down and 10 for the Greenies at the Blues' 49-yard line. Palmer brings it up the line of scrimmage, split backs behind it. Takes out, turns, hands it off, and that's Dye, and Will Dye finds about 3 tough yards. As he's tackled there on the play by Josh Cannon. And so the gain of 3, and they'll bring up second down and about 7.
And give Dye a lot of credit that time. Wallace Hester had him dead to rights in the backfield, ready to tackle him. He was able to just give him a move and make 3 yards there when he could have lost yardage.
Second down and 7. Dye comes in motion. Palmer back to throw the football. Looks across the middle, and it's picked off. Gene Joyce on the return down the right side, and he'll finally be forced out of bounds at the Christ School 38-yard line. So first down and 10 there for the Blues.
Well,
Palmer that time just threw it behind his receiver.
He had his receiver. He had Ben Lanigan wide open. As you watch the replay, you'll see he's just wide open. Just threw it behind him and just right into the waiting arms of Gene Joyce there. And it wasn't. He caught the ball more out of self-defense than anything.
So first and 10 for the Blues at the Christ School. Well, it looks like about 33-yard line. They snap it back, take it over the right side with Stanton. And Stanton will be across the 30. Down to about the Greeny 29-yard line. A pickup of about 5 on the play. So actually go mark him out at the 28-yard line.
Well, you know, the Blues had that turnover earlier in about this same area, Don, and able to keep the Greenies out. But, you know, we got to see now if the Greenies could do the same thing.
Second down at about 5. And again, they go up the middle with Stanton, and Stanton will not find much running room at all. He picked up maybe a yard, if that. May have just worked his way back to the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 3rd and 5.
I'll tell you, Don, they are going after each other right then. I mean, the first man stood him up, and then after that, it was everybody that could get a hand on him.
Official timeout here for some reason. One of the Christ School players had something wrong with his helmet. Now they get it fixed. Wind that clock up. 9:55 and counting here. First half, still no score. 3rd and 5 Blues at the Christ School 28-yard line. They snap it back to Stanton. Finding running room left side. Stanton trips and falls at about the 12-yard line, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blues at the Greeny 12-yard line. And,
Don, I think we saw a little bit of the old single wing right there as they brought that tackle over. You see right here, just snapped it straight back to the back and caught the Greenies off guard. They're going to run a lot of different sets out of this offense today.
Stanton would have been able to give a couple more yards to that 15-yard line, not reached up and grabbed it. On 1st and 10 at the 12. They go over the right side with Joyce, and Joyce will be inside the 10 and work his way down to about the 8. So right now, Asheville School going student body right, student body left, getting as many blockers in front of the running backs as they can. And they actually mark his knee down at the 9, so it'll be second down and 7. Dalton will turn, hand it off, and again they'll just go with Stanton right up the middle, and he'll find a couple of more tough yards. Works his way down close to the 6-yard line, and it'll be 3rd and 4 at the 6.
And the Greenies definitely with their backs against the wall. They got to tighten up right here. Draw the line and say nothing past here.
8:25 and counting. First half, a takeout turn, going right side, looking for the corner of the end zone is Joyce, and he's going to be just shy of the end zone, but it will be 1st and goal for the Blues at the 1-yard line. So the Blues are going to get 4 cracks at it from the 1.
Well, it's tough when you're on defense and you go down there and the person can get the team can get a first down that close to the goal line, Don. It hurts you as on defense to let them get that first down. They really wanted to make them try for that field goal from back there.
First and goal at the 1. Dalton will turn and hand it off, and into the end zone goes Stanton from a yard out. So with 7:59 showing on the first half clock, the Blues get on the board first. And like we said, an offensive mistake, a big defensive play by the Blues turns him into a touchdown. Extra point coming.
That's right, Don. We said the first one that makes a mistake, and when they lined up in that single wing, it caught the Greenies off guard.
John Cooper's extra point is no good. It's off to the right side. So will that come back to haunt the Blues? We'll just have to wait and see. 7:59 left here in the second quarter. Asheville School out in front of Christ School. 6-0. Back after this.
Sports equipment. Need to take my hat off today, Don. I'll tell you.
On the extra point, Ben Lanigan was a little shaken up. And thank goodness, as we can see, he's coming up under his own power. Little shaken up, though. Looks like maybe a knee or an ankle.
Yeah, looks like he's got a little sore leg there somewhere. He's definitely got the limp going.
So 6-0 our score. Asheville School leading it. Thanks to the interception, first of all, by Joyce. And then they put together a 38-yard drive and punched it into the end zone with Stanton carrying it the final yard. But the extra point, no good. John Cooper ready to put foot to leather. And it's a high end-over-end kick that the wind will grab, and it's going to be taken by Dye. And Will Dye will scamper it out across the 35-yard line out to the 36, where it'll be 1st and 10.
And Don, I think the Greenies deferred that kickoff. You know, one of the reasons was so they could have the win here in the second quarter. If it comes down right to the very end, a little easier to kick that field goal, a little easier to pass.
So 1st and 10, Christ School their own 36. Palmer takes out, turns, hands it off, and that's Jonas Nance that will rumble forward for about 5. Now close to the 41-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and about, well, it's actually call it 2nd down and 6. We'll credit him with a 4-yard pickup, 2nd down and 6.
And Jonas Nance, he's a good ball player. We've seen him before this year. A good ball player on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively.
Palmer with a few words to Dye and to Nance. So they get on the same page of the playbook, 2nd down and 6. Take out, they'll give it to Nance, and Nance, a little track play, will be close to the 1st down as he carries it across the 45. Actually, they'll put the nose of the football right there on the 45-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and short. 3rd and 1 for the Greenies at their own 45-yard line.
And these Greenies love that trap play, Don, and they used it well last week against Dandyville. And there's a little something there you don't see too often. A blue head hung from a crane. I heard some of the Christ School students hot-wired the crane and able to get him up there.
3rd and 1. Palmer hands it off to Nance. He finds that tough yard and more as he works his way out close to the 48-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10, Christ School there at their own 48. Clock shows 6:10 and counting as they'll get it wound up and going. 6-0 our score. Asheville School out in front.
And the Greenies putting together a drive here. It's real important for them to maybe try to get down and get something on the board right here before halftime.
1st and 10, Christ School, their own 48. Dye will come right at you. And Palmer will take off and hand it out to the 3rd back, or the 3rd man by him, Billy Francis, as Christ School tries a little misdirection play, and for Francis. It doesn't work for much yardage at all. That Asheville School defense able to string that play out and close it down for very little yardage.
And Alan Niven's able to, like you said, Don, string that thing out. And he did a good job of fighting off his blockers and staying with it the whole way and bringing him down that there and not letting the Christ School make anything on that. Little reverse play, you have to give him a lot of credit for staying home that time.
So second down, we'll call it 9. As Palmer will bring Dye in motion. They'll pitch it back to Langford, trying to find room right side, and he'll make it to the 50-yard line. And that will force Christ School into a 3rd and long situation at the Blues 49.
As you watch the replay here, you'll see some tough hits going on here. Just boom. Just doing a great job here. This Blue defense, of course, we knew it was a tough defense coming into the ball game, but they are definitely bringing people over there, stringing these plays out, getting their help over there, and then getting a lot of people around the ball on the tackle.
3rd, we'll call it 7. Palmer pitches back to Langford. He wants to throw it, and the left-hander will have it complete.
Great pass. Great catch.
To the 39-yard line is coming up with a reception, Steve Bennett. But Langford, the left-hander, rolling left side and found this man open at the 39-yard line for the first down.
A little halfback pass here. You see, just guns it in there. About the only place he could put it and not get it intercepted, Don. There's 3 men around him that time. 3 men around the receiver, and the receiver just doing a great job of catching the ball.
1st and 10. Christ School to the Asheville School 39-yard line. Palmer sends Dye in motion, turns, hangs it off. Langford, first down and more. Langford pounds his way down close to the 26-yard line.
And of course, the thing that halfback pass does is loosen up that defense a little bit. Loosen up the defense as you watch the replay. Makes it a little easier to get those yards right up the middle because everybody's concerned. Watching those receivers, watching to make sure what's going to happen.
Well, Langford picked up about those last 6 yards all on his own. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line for Christ School. Dye comes in motion. Palmer takes out, gives it to Langford. Same play, but not same results. But Langford will find about 3 yards as he works his way forward to the 23, and will bring up 2nd down and 7.
Well, they're running the old Vince Lombardi rule there. Keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore. If it works for you once, try it again.
Clock running, 3:35 and counting here first half. 6-0 our score. If you just joined us, Asheville School out in front. Palmer will again bring Dye in motion. He'll take out, turn, hand it off. Again, they go back with a reverse to Ruckert, and Ruckert will be down close to the 10-yard line. Flag on the play, though, back at about the 15. Let's see what this is about. Asheville, and it's going to be a face mask penalty against the Blues. So that should set up Christ School with a 1st and goal situation somewhere around the 5-yard line.
You're right. When he came around the corner there, and the corner man came up to get him, he put that little move on him. He just reached out to grab what he could, and it ended up being a face mask, Don.
So the face mask penalty, and Asheville School with their backs against the wall will call timeout and stop the clock with 3:11 left here in this first half. 6-0. Blues leading the Greenies, and we'll come back when we return after this. Nice matchup, and special thanks to the Christ School Parents Council for making this telecast possible. 1st and goal, Greenies at the Blues 5-yard line. Palmer will send Dye in motion. He'll take out, hand it off to Nance, and Nance finds no running room whatsoever behind his left guard.
Well, we said one of our keys that we're going to let the Blue defense carry. Well, right now is when they're going to have to do it. If they can tighten up right here and keep the Greenies from scoring, especially right here before halftime, then that'll be a big boost for that Asheville school team.
No gain on that play. Second and goal once again from the 5. Palmer this time will send Ruckert in motion to the left side. He'll take out Nance one more time. Cuts up. Touchdown. Chuck, there's one of those holes big enough for you to run through.
That's right, Don, and it was. Credit that Greeny line. They made a hole big enough. I could have even walked through that one.
So the Greenies tie the ball game up with 2:32 showing on the first half clock with the extra point coming. So he watched the replay, and Nance just got out there and made the fine cut. Big hole over on that left side. The extra point is up, and it is good.
And the Blues with another mistake right there, Don. No sense in that. Never any reason for that to happen. Get away from me,
Looks like we're going to get a penalty flag here, and it will be a roughing the kicker against Asheville School as they rough Mark McQueen. But McQueen's extra point is good. And so with 2:32 left here first half, Christ School has jumped out in front 7-6, and we'll come back after this. Here to Arden, you take a look at the mountains in the background. Beautiful setting here at Christ School. And Christ School right now enjoys a 1-point lead over the Blues in the 61st matchup between these two schools.
Oldest prep rivalry in the state, Don.
And we want to remind you that today's special telecast being brought to you in part by 4 Star Sports. Watch for their new location coming soon here to Asheville. So the Greenies will get a kickoff in the 50-yard line. And Coach Mike Knighton with the decision here, do you just try to pooch it up in the air, or do you just let your kicker try to boom it through the end zone?
Shoot, I try to put it all the way back in the end zone. No return. You can't be hurt. No.
And the ball falls off the tee as the wind grabbed hold of it.
And that could have been bad news if the kicker hadn't held up. He could have thrown his leg out there. You go to kick that ball and it's not there, and all of a sudden you've got a hyperextended knee there, Don.
And they're going to have somebody come over and hold it.
Bad
for him
news
now.
for those lateral collateral ligaments in there. Bet you didn't know I could say that, did you?
Wealth of talents that you have. So McQueen, ready to put foot to leather. And you can kiss that one goodbye.
Yeah.
Did exactly what you thought.
Just about kicked it down to the soccer field.
Good kick, Mark.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Blues at the 20-yard line.
A lot of activity here today. They had a state soccer match here today right before this football game. Don, I'm not sure who won the thing.
State championship game, I believe.
Yep.
1st and 10 Blues at their own 20-yard line. They trail it by a point, 7-6 with 2:32 left in the half. Chris Dalton checks up under center, takes out, turns, hands it off first, back through. And that's Stanton, and Stanton will have what appears to be a first down. Of course, the knows that football is going to have to be right on the 30-yard line. Nope, they're going to mark him down at the 29, and it'll be 2nd down and 1.
Like we got an official timeout here for some strange reason. Going to come bring about and measure them, I guess.
Well, they put the ball at the 20-yard line. The ball has to touch the 30 guys for a first down, and it's not anywhere close unless they just didn't spot it properly. It is shy by a half yard.
Well, Don, when you said it was short, I don't know what they thought they were going to go out there and do and measure it.
How
Because
dare
you
they
are the
second guess
master.
me?
That's right. You are the master when it comes to marking the football.
So 2nd down and 1 for the Blues. Their own 29-yard line. Dalton leads them up. Takes out. Again, they go the first back through Stanton, and Stanton will have the first down out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. So 1st down and 10 for the Blues.
And again, just a safe little play to get the first down. Of course, you never know. You might get a step on somebody, get a block in there, and break one big. A lot of times those little plays designed to get a few inches will often end up getting you a touchdown.
2 minutes and counting in the half.
And there we go.
They go that single wing one more time. They snap it back to Stanton, and Stanton will take it over the right side and find good yardage. So he carries it out close to the 40-yard line.
And as you watch the replay, you'll get to see a good look at that single wing as they bring an extra man over to the right side of the center, then just line the backs up a lot like they do in the box and snap it directly back to the running back.
Second down, we'll call it about 2 for the Blues. Dalton takes out, turns, hands it off. And D. Washington, who touched it for the first time this afternoon, won't find a whole lot of success. He does carry it out across the 40, but it'll be third down and about a yard for the Blues as the football just across their own 40-yard line. So Washington trying to come over the left side, only able to pick up about a yard.
Well, of course, defense has been the bread and butter for the Blues, and I tell you, this Greeny defense has been playing some good, hard-nosed football today.
45 seconds and counting in the half. Dalton takes out, takes it. He's going to keep it himself and take it for a first down, and will be just shy of the 50-yard line at the 48. But Dalton, a little bootleg play from the quarterback, able to pick up the first down, and Asheville School will call timeout with 33 seconds left in the half. 7-6 our score. Christ School leading Asheville School. And we'll come back to Arden when we return after this. Banners hanging from the windows. 1st and 10 for the Blues. Dalton takes out, lets it fly, and it's going to be picked off by Langford. Langford picks up a couple of blockers, stays on his feet, cuts back against the grain, and we'll also see a flag thrown at the very end of the play. But Langford will return the football inside the Asheville School 25 at the 23-yard line, but there will be a clip against the Greenies that will back the ball up. But still, with 19 seconds left, Chuck, and the wind behind them, and when you have a kicker with the foot of McQueen, you're in a scoring situation here.
You certainly are, Don, and I'll tell you, a great job that time, a great job defensively by the Greenies. Used the old tip drill there, just took the ball, tipped it up in the air himself, tipped it to himself that time. And then a great job on the run back. Of course, the clip kind of...
Hooker on the run back, 35, Green.
Well, they even told us who it was. Billy Francis was the man that is guilty of the clip, but it'll be 1st and 10 Christ School. They'll wind the clock up, get it going. 15 seconds and counting.
Well, with Langford
need to get that line quick.
He did, easy to make a clip that time.
Palmer, 5 seconds left, takes out, and looks towards the end zone. They throw it, and it's going to be incomplete with no time left in the clock, and Christ School let the clock run. But they'll go to the locker room here at half, leading it by a point. 7-6 over the Blues. And we'll come back, take you through halftime. We'll do that when we return after this.
Importantly,
as we look back and reflect on that first half, the Blues set up the first score of the ball game on a big defensive play.
Yeah, they did, Don. And, you know, we talked about the first person that made...
philosophy. Acrewood.
Chuck Hill along with you as we're all set and ready to get the second half of action underway as the Greenies will receive the football to start the second half. John Cooper puts his foot into it. It's a short end-over-end kick that will hit, scramble for it, and it's finally going to be picked up by David Marsh. And Marsh will weave his way out across the 25-yard line out to about the 28, where it will be first down and 10 there for the Greenies at their own 28-yard line.
And the Greenies almost starting the second half with a major mistake as they let that ball bounce around and didn't hardly get a handle on it there, Don. Bad news for them if they'd lost that thing there on the opening kickoff on the 20-yard line.
You're right. First and 10, Greenies. Palmer takes out, turns, pitches it back. Will Dye with blockers in front of him will cut it across the 30, out close to the 32-yard line. Pick up of about 3 or 4 on the play.
Had some vicious hitting going on right now, Don, as you saw that block back there on the end as he came around, and it was just a fantastic block by the Greenies.
Well, it's a pickup of 3 in the plays. Second down and 7. As we have one of the players on the field with little equipment problems. Now they get it all set and straight. As that was Trey Davis. Second down. We'll call it 7 for the Greenies. At their own 32. They take out, turn, hand it off. Langford, nothing doing. As James Robertson came down the line and was able to wrap up Jay Langford for a loss on the play back behind the 30-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Greenies as a ball just shy of the 30-yard line.
Of course, that's what the Blues needed to do. They need to come out here and establish this defense again early. That's been their bread and butter all year long, and they've got to come out here and show that the defense can do it for them.
3rd and long is Palmer. Will send Rucker in motion, takes out, throws, has it complete to Todd Johnson, and Johnson will be shy of the first down across the 35-yard line,
Rufus
and
gets
Johnson
hurt here.
a little shaken up. A little slow in getting up, and now he'll get up and walk off under his own flower.
And Don, we've seen this pass a lot from the Greenies. We saw it last week, and they love that. Get that man out there just a little bit in the flats and then let him try to come back across the grain through the middle.
4th and a long one for the Greenies, but obviously punting time. As Ben Lanigan will come on to punt it away. John James, John Cooper go back deep to receive the football. Good snap to Lanigan. Remember, he has a wind behind him. And Lanigan gets it off. We're going to get a roughing the kicker penalty here.
Good call. Good call.
James takes it in at about the 30 and carries it across the 40 to the 41, but a flag down, and the Blues ran into Lanigan, and we'll get a roughing the kicker call.
And that was Big 54, Greg Terry over there, and he's kind of like begging just to the referee there. No, really, but it was a good play. As you see it right here, just boom. And you can't do that. You got to get out in front of that man where the ball is going to be. I mean, it does you no good to block his leg, Don. You got to go after the ball.
Yeah, they teach you to try to jump or come to the position where the ball is going to be, not where it is at. And they just caught him with his leg up in the air. It was pretty obvious. And it'll be a 15-yarder here against the Blues.
And how many times is...
Roughing the kicker, 1st down.
How many times this year have we seen a play like this keep a drive alive and the team go down and score and end up that's the difference in the ball game is the score that comes off of a mistake like that.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Greenies at the Blues 48-yard line as Palmer leads them up. Rucker goes in motion. They turn, hand it off to Nance, and Nance will find no running room between the tackles. No gain on the play.
And you know, Don, a play like that, it shows you how important that roughing the kicker penalty is because your defense has done a good job at start. They got them on the last series there. They come after this series and just doing a great job of holding the Greenies, but then you make a dumb mistake like a roughing the kicker, and it comes back to haunt you.
7-6 our score. Christ School leading it by a point. As Palmer leads them up, sends Rucker in motion. Palmer takes out, 5-step drop, wants to throw. Has time, pump, lost control of the football, and no, they're saying his arm was going forward, and it will be an incomplete pass.
Now that's one of those times that he was lucky they called that an incomplete pass. His arm was going forward, and he just lost control of it
I think
as
he
it went
wanted to
down.
pump once.
He wanted to pump that ball again and then go for a long pass.
So 3rd and 10 for the Greenies at the Blues' 48-yard line. 8:55 showing in the game clock here, 3rd quarter, 7-6 our score. Ruckert will go in motion to the left side. Palmer takes out, looks right side, throws, and has it complete. And struggling and looking for a few extra yards is George Sewell, and Sewell will be down at the 40-yard line. That'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down, and decision time for Mike Knighton.
And as you watch the replay, Don, you'll see it's the same exact pass. This time, though, he turns outside instead of turning back inside.
So 4th and 2, and the Greenies are going to go for it. At the Blues' 40-yard line, Palmer up under center. A 7-man front there for the Blues. They send the blitz. They hand it out to Nance. Nance will struggle forward, and where will they mark his knee down? They're going to mark his knee down at the 39-yard line. That'll be more than a yard shy of the first down. And on downs, the Blues will hold, and it'll be 1st down and 10, Asheville School at their own 39-yard line.
Well, the Blues guessed right that time, Don. They had a 7 men on the line, and if it had been a pass, you know, it might have been a little easier for the Greenies to get the first down. But the Blues definitely guessed right that time, bringing everybody and stopping that practically at the line of scrimmage.
So 8:05 and counting in the 3rd quarter. The Blues take over for the first time in the second half as Dalton up under center. He'll hand it off to the fullback, and that'll be Stanton, and Stanton will find big yardage as they crack it out across his 45 to the 47-yard line. It'll be a pickup of about 7 on the play and bring up 2nd down. We'll call it a short 3.
And the Blues rushing back up the line of scrimmage in that single wing again, trying to catch the Greenies off guard.
Snap it back to Stanton, and Stanton is closed down as Trey Davis shot the gap and made the tackle on Stanton for a loss back behind the 45 to the 44.
Well, the Blues starting to tip their hand as you watch this replay here. They're rushing back up the line of scrimmage, and as soon as they do that, the Greenies are screaming, single wing, single wing, single wing. They're making the adjustment real quick. Did a good job that time adjusting to that single wing.
3rd and 5, Blues. They're on 44. Mix up in the backfield, and Dalton will go down for a loss of a couple of more. And that will bring up 4th and long and punting time for Asheville School. That Greenie defense, a fired up unit now.
I'll tell you, they're fired up all over the stands here. Some of these crazy people are out here with T-shirts on, the Beat Asheville School T-shirts, and that's all they've got on, Don. I'll tell you, they're about crazy.
John James puts his foot into it, and it takes a Christ School bounce back up the field. And the ball will be down at the Christ School 37-yard line. So 1st and 10 there for the Greenies at their own 37 as they take the ball over. 6:31 left in the 3rd, and Christ School with a 1-point lead.
Now, it seems like every punt we've had today, except for the one that the Blues couldn't keep out of the end zone, had a chance to do it and didn't do it, but they're all taking Christ School bounces, Don.
Actually, let's call it the 38 for Christ School. 1st and 10 there. Palmer turns, hands it off to Ruckert. And Ruckert will be closed down for no gain. Flag on the play.
It's like a face mask coming in there. That's where you expect it. In the middle of that pile, you're just grabbing, trying to get what you can get the man down. Every once in a while, that hand reaches up and grabs that face mask.
So the face mask penalty, we'll see if it's a 5 or 15-yarder here against the Blues. Right now, Asheville School hurting themselves with these penalties, Chuck. It'll be a 15-yarder.
Well, you know, you're right on that. They had one roughing the kicker that kept the drive alive for the Greenies, and now this one, you know, if you keep giving them the ball, they're bound to do something with it sooner or later.
So 1st and 10 for Christ School. Ball at about the Asheville School 47-yard line. Ruckert will go in motion to the left side. Palmer will take out. He'll turn, hand it off to Dye. Dye with a big hole over the right side. He'll have a 1st down and more. Will Dye will carry it down to the Christ School 31-yard line.
And George Sewell going back to the huddle, and he's apologizing to people as you watch the replay here. George Sewell out there, as you see it, you can see it right there. He didn't know where the running back was. If he had made that block right there, might have been gone for the touchdown. But George going back saying, "My fault, guys," and he'll make up for it before the game's over.
1st and 10, Christ School, the Asheville School 31. Palmer takes out, pitches it back to Langford, trying to find room left side, and all he finds is white shirts over there on the left corner. No gain on the play.
Great job by that blue defense, I'll tell you right now.
Chris Dalton came up and closed that play down.
He did, buddy. He came up there and just put the quietus on him real quick.
No gain in the play. 2nd down and 10 for the Greenies. Palmer with split backs behind him will send Ruckert in motion to the left side. And he'll hand it off, trying it up the middle is Langford. And all he finds is 5 white shirts right there in the middle of the pile.
And you're
it'll be
right.
a loss of about a yard.
I'll tell you, this last couple of plays, it has been tough going for that Greenie offense. Those Blues have said, "Guys, y'all been doing it to us too much." And just look at them right here. And they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white shirts just all over that football.
So
of course,
3rd
now,
and 11.
when we talked about this at halftime, you know, that's pretty aggressive, 5 around the football. You look for them to come with another trick play of some kind and use that aggressiveness against them.
Dye will come in motion right side. Palmer will take out. He'll pitch it back to Nance. Nance wants to throw it under some pressure. Going to try to tuck it under and run, and they'll sack him for a loss. Back to the 38-yard line. And looks like it'll be punting time as Lanigan will come out on the field.
And, Don, that's what we expected might happen. They came back with that halfback pass, something a little different to try and use the defense's aggressiveness against them. But the defense doing a great job. The Blues doing a great job of defending at that time.
4th and 16 and punting time. Lanigan puts his foot into it. Gets carried a little bit by the wind and into the end zone. Touchback. And the ball will come out to the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 there for Asheville School. But you can tell that wind, Chuck, that ball just got up there and carried.
It was just like a sailplane once it got up there. All he had to do was pooch it up into the air, and that wind took it and took it all the way into the end zone.
It's the kind of wind today that always is in your face on the golf course.
You're right. Whether coming in or going out, or no matter what hole you're on, especially if you're on a par 5 somewhere, it's going to be in your face.
Hitting it over the wire.
Right. Because I always have a hard time doing that for some reason, hitting it over the water.
And a little mix-up for Christ School here on defense, and they have to burn a timeout here as Mike Knighton and Will Dye talk things over. So with 3:48 left on the 3rd quarter clock, Christ School enjoys a 1-point lead. It's 7-6, and we'll come back after this. These special telecasts being brought to you in part by 4 Star Sports. Watch for their new location coming soon here to Asheville. 1st and 10 for Asheville School, the 20. They get it into the hands of Stanton, and Stanton able to find tough yardage. He finds about 3 and a flag down late.
And, Don, you got to figure somebody said something and said the wrong thing that time. They're over there talking to Frank Lewis saying, "No, we didn't." Frank says,
number 90 Green.
Frank says, no. So they're going to give him a personal foul on that one. And you watch this replay, and they had Stanton stopped in the backfield. Stanton just doing a great job. They had him stopped right there again. Practically pulled his jersey off of him. Still finds 3 hard yards.
So a personal foul against the Greenies. I believe it was called against Trey Davis. And the ball will come all the way out to the 39-yard line. Asheville School, 1st down and 10, their own 39.
And here you go with the Greenies making mistakes to keep a drive alive.
Dalton takes out, turns, hands it off, and Gene Joyce can find nothing. As coming through and making the tackle for the Greenies is Billy Francis. And Francis may be a little shaken up on that play.
And both of these defenses really taking it to the offense here in this second half. I'll tell you, Don, if it wasn't for personal foul penalties, roughing the kickers and things like that, you know, that's the only thing that's kept these offenses alive here in this second half.
Loss of about 2 in the play. 2nd down and 12. They shift out into the single wing. Snap comes back to Stant, trying to find room right side. He'll lose maybe another yard. As this time it was Mark McQueen, along with Dye, that were over there on the tackle for the Greenies.
It looks like the Greenies have got this single wing figured out, Don. Doing a great job defending. The last 3 times the Blues have run it, they've lost yardage on it.
So it'll be 3rd down. We'll call it 13 for the Blues, back at the 36-yard line. 2:10 and counting, 3rd quarter, and Christ School clinging to that 1-point lead at 7-6. Dalton with a few extra words for his backfield, checks up in her center. Takes out. They go with a little reverse as John James, and whistle blew for some reason, stop and play. Did they say that he was down or what?
I'm not sure. We saw a flag.
Whistle, I believe, was blown. A flag down as well, and I believe we have an inadvertent whistle.
No.
We're going to have an illegal block back here on the Blues for sure, because I saw that block and then saw the flag go down.
Well, the flag went down, but we definitely had an inadvertent whistle that stopped play, and that kind of stopped everybody. Boy, the guys out there in the striped shirts are hoping this calls against Asheville School that was going to bring the play back anyhow.
Yeah.
I would think as an official that was probably one of the worst things that can happen to you, when you blow that whistle when you didn't mean to.
You know, that's one thing they always say. The football officials keep their whistles in their hands, and it hardly ever happens. You know, the basketball officials, whistles are in their mouths most of the time, and they say they have more inadvertent whistles. But this is the kind of thing, if you're an official, that you really hate to see happen to you.
Well, it's going to be against Asheville School. The penalty will be, so it would have brought back the play anyhow. It's a clipping penalty against the Blues. And takes the ball
down
all the way back to the 21-yard line, and they'll replay the down from there. So it's going to be 3rd down and 38.
Might as well say 3rd down and forever, eh? Well, that penalty was assessed from the point anyway, so even if he'd have made 30 or 40 more yards on the play, it would have came back to there anyway. So really, the whistle didn't make that much difference.
Dalton takes out. They turn, they hand it off. Gene Joyce trying to find room, and Joyce will pick up about 10 yards, but he'll be snowed under at the 31-yard line, where it will be 4th and a lot.
And
4th and about 26.
But Don, that was the same play they tried the play before. This is that little reverse play, and didn't catch the Greenies napping this time. They really kind of caught the Greenies napping on the first reverse they tried on them, and it was probably going to go for a lot of yards. But of course, again, the clip just ruined it for them.
And John James will again have to kick into this stiff wind. But remember, when we go to the 4th quarter, Asheville School will have the wind at their backs.
Yeah, they will. Looking at both kickers in warm-up, so I'd say that their kicker is not quite as good as the Greenie kicker.
David Marsh drops back deep to receive the kick of James. Good snap. James puts his foot into it, but just gets up in that wind and dives. And will be down at the Asheville School 49-yard line. So the Greenies will start out in blue territory at the 49-yard line with 44 seconds left here in the 3rd. And Christ School leading it 7-6.
Well, if they're going to try to pass the ball or anything, they need to do it right now with the wind as quick as they can, go for a long pass maybe or something like that. But because they're fixing to get turned around, and I'll tell you, Don, I think this wind has picked up from what it was in the first half.
You won't have any argument from me. 1st and 10, Christ School. They take out, give it to Dye. Dye with a little bit of an opening. He'll find about 5 across the blue 45 to the 44. And that play could very well bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter unless Christ School can hurry and get a play off. 10 seconds and counting. Palmer up under center. Gets the snap off just before the end of the quarter and gets it into the hands of Billy Francis, and Francis will be close to a first down across the blue 40 and very close to the 39-yard line, and that play will bring us to the end of the third quarter. So as we head to the final 12 minutes of action here between Christ School and Asheville School, it's the Greenies on top by a point, 7-6. Back with the final 12 minutes of action after this. 12 minutes of action, a very cold Don Munson.
Hot on that field down there, though, isn't it?
That's right. And I'm sure very cold cameramen, very cold directors, and very cold everything else.
Yeah, that's me moving around there trying to stay warm, I'll tell you.
First down and 10 for the Greenies at the blue 39-yard line as we head to the final 12 minutes. But remember, Christ School now for the entire fourth quarter having to drive into this stiff wind. Palmer will check up under center. He'll send Dye in motion. He'll take out and hand it off to the fullback. And he'll find about 3, maybe 4 yards.
Don, a lot of hard hitting going on down there, but these fellas, they're helping each other up, patting each other on the helmet, saying good jobs. Stuff you like to see in a high school football game, or any football game for that matter. A lot of good sportsmanship down on the field.
A pick of about 3 by Langford will bring up second down and 7. Dye and Langford split backs. Now Dye goes in motion and flag down. Somebody lining up in the neutral zone more than likely. And looking at Christ School. And I believe the penalty here going to be against the Greenies.
Yep. Let's see the Blues start clapping.
They'll back on 5. The offside penalty will bring the ball back to the 41-yard line where it'll be second down. We'll call it 11.
And that's the sort of little middle lapse, Don, that you don't expect to see this late in the season. That's the kind of thing you see in the first, second game of the season, but this late in the season, you usually expect them to be able to line up.
Palmer on second and long takes out, throws, and has it complete to Sewell. And Sewell will be across the 40, or excuse me, across the 35, close to the 33-yard line. Well, nothing fancy there, Chuck, just a little hitch pattern.
No, just a little hitch, as you see on the replay right here, just boom. And really, it's the man from the backside that made the tackle if he was about to get around the man that was defending him.
They'll actually mark Sewell to 34. Third and a long forward for the Greenies at the blue 34-yard line. Again, 7 men up on that line of scrimmage for the Blues. And here they all come, and they will tackle Dye at the 35-yard line. It'll be a loss of about a yard, and that means fourth down and about 5. And let's see what Christ School does here. Will they punt and try to pin the Blues back or go for it?
Well, it's worked, I'll tell you. That bringing all those people up and bringing the linebackers, but only keeping 3 people back there to defend.
Clock running, as you can see.
It's worked for the Blues both times they've done it, Don.
10:05 and counting. On fourth and about 5, the Greenies will go for it. Dye goes in motion. Palmer takes out. Dumps it off to the tight end. He stretches that body. Did he get enough clean to pick up the first down? From our angle, it looks like that they got it. And a brilliant effort by Billy Francis as he stretched his body and got the first down.
And Don, you're right. It was a great effort by Francis because he didn't have it when he caught the ball. But that stretch right there got it for him. As you see, just a quick hitter over the middle that they like, and they really do like that pass a lot. We saw him throw it a bunch of times last week against the Yellow Jackets.
So first and 10. As a fourth down conversion keeps the drive alive for the Greenies. Palmer takes out, gets it to Langford. Trying to come left side, and all he finds is blue jerseys. Or Blues in white jerseys, I guess I should say. No gain in the play, second down and 10.
And again, that blue defense, you know, they've been at it all year long. It's like right now, fellas, we got our backs against the wall here a little bit. We need to tighten up, make something positive happen. Need a turnover or a loss of yards right here.
2nd and 10. Palmer takes out, gives it to Jonas Nance, and Nance will find about 5 or 6 yards as he gets it across the 25, close to the 23-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd down and 5. You know, Chuck, one of the important things that Christ School is doing right now is just keeping the ball away from the Blues with the wind at their backs.
Sometimes, you know, that's the best defense you can have is a good offense. And you're right, Don. Just keeping the ball away from the Blues is the best thing the Greenies can do right now.
3rd and 5. Nance gets the call. 2 hands in the football and a 1st down inside the Blue 20 down to the 17-yard line. But that Greeny offensive line also, Chuck, got to give them a lot of credit. They're controlling the line of scrimmage.
Well, Don, they've done it all day. When the plays have gone all day, as you can see in this replay here, it's been because the line has done a good job of opening up a hole. And few of the fans from Asheville School running over here on the sidelines with their flags, just helping fire things up a little bit.
Few of the footballs also came out on the field. Now get them off quickly. We'll get back to action.
Just a little fun, just a little fun. It's a fun day for them out here.
1st and 10, Christ School. The Asheville School 17. Nance, 2 hands of the football one more time, and he'll find no running room over the left side as he's stacked up right there at the line of scrimmage by John James and Austin Stanton.
And Don, it looks like the Christ School students have stolen the Asheville High flags.
Guess that's like stealing the mascot.
Like, exactly like it.
2nd down and 10 for the Greenies at the Blue 17 as Palmer will bring a man in motion. That's Francis. Wants to throw it. Turns, has it complete to Sewell. He'll break a tackle at the 10 and carry it inside the 5 to the 4.
And Don, that's the pass we've seen him complete 3 times now. A little hit pattern out to the flats there. As you watch the replay, you'll see right here, just boom, out to the flats. He makes a move on the defender. That time he didn't get the backside pressure to make the tackle, was able to put the move on the defender and make positive things happen for the Greenies.
1st and goal, Christ School at the Asheville School 4. 6:50 and counting, and the Greenies came off the line a little early. Martin McQueen coming off that line of scrimmage, and they'll back him back up 5 here.
And that's the kind of things that give you gray hairs as a coach.
So the procedure penalty will back it up to the 9-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal one more time from the 9. They'll wind the clock up, get it running. 6:35 and counting. Christ School leading it by a point, but trying to stretch that lead out. Palmer takes out, gives it to Nance, left side. Flags come down. And let's see what the flags are all about as Nance will find maybe about a yard as he and Stanton had a personal meeting.
I'll tell you, that was. They just got together right there in the middle of the field, didn't they? That was just a fantastic
holding penalty against Christ School, so they're going to back them up 10 more.
I'll tell you, there have been some massive hits today. As you watch this replay, and you'll see Stanton come up right here and just does a great job, just a perfect job of tackling right there. Just gets down, gets set, unloads right there, just like you're supposed to do.
So it'll be 1st and goal once again as we'll see the holding that will bring the ball back to the 19-yard line. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 19. Split backs behind Palmer. Dye will go in motion to the right side. They'll pitch it back to Nancy. Wants to throw it. Look at it across the middle. Touchdown! Trey Davis wide open. in behind Chris Dalton. And Nance connects with Davis for a 19-yard touchdown pass. From the 19. Split backs behind Palmer. Dye will go in motion to the right side. They'll pitch it back to Nance. He wants to throw it. Looking across the middle. Touchdown! Trey Davis wide open in behind Chris Dalton. And Nance connects with Davis for a 19-yard touchdown pass.
And Don, there you go. Aggressive defense. And you come down here in a little trick play, and it'll get you a lot of times. You live by the aggressive defense, and you die by the aggressive defense.
Well, that was the perfect call at the perfect time.
You're right, Don. You're right.
McQueen's extra point attempt is up, and it is good. 6 minutes to go in the contest, and the Greenies stretch it out to an 8-point lead at 14-6, and we'll come back when we return after this.
See, they just get everybody thinking it's a run, a little sweep play, and then just get it.
You'll find only the best at Carolina. Westgate Mall at 220 Westgate Mall Drive and in Greenville on Poinsett Highway.
Welcome back here to Christ School. Don Munson and Chuck Hill as we'll take a replay of the touchdown, Chuck.
And you'll see they just get everybody thinking it's a run, a little sweep play, and then just get everybody drawn in, and the man's in the end zone waiting on the football.
And what's impressive about that is Christ School marched into the win and scored that touchdown, but they also took over 6 minutes off of that clock. They started that drive in the third quarter, and then when the quarter changed, they had it at the Blues 38-yard line and able to take 6 minutes off the clock.
Well, you're right, Don, and taking that time off the clock is almost as important as scoring.
McQueen, a good kick into the wind as John Cooper will be snowed under at the 21-yard line, and right now, all the momentum is in green.
And Scott Montgomery doing a great job of getting downfield, not overrunning his assignment there, just doing a great job getting down there and making that tackle.
First down and 10 for the Blues at their own 21-yard line. 5:55 and counting. And Coach Ron Brumley has to find points in a hurry. Dalton under center. And the Greenies called timeout again. They didn't have enough men out on the field.
Well, Don, and the guy that's supposed to be in there, number 33, and he's over here, I don't know, looked like he was talking to the fans over here. It's one of those days, you know, it's sort of like homecoming and everything here, and they get a little caught up too much in what's going on the sidelines instead of paying attention to the game. And that's 3 timeouts we've seen Christ School have to burn because of mental mistakes of not having the people.
And Coach Mike Knighton out there stressing that with his defense. So this game is not over. There's still 5:42 to go, and let's not start celebrating yet, guys.
Well, that's right, Don. I'll tell you, you start celebrating, the next thing you know, the Blues have put a score on the board and gone for 2, and this thing's tied up.
The Greenies will have 1 timeout left here in the half. The Blues still with their full slate of 3. Dalton leads him up to the line of scrimmage. Eye set behind him. He'll take out, wants to throw the football, looks across the middle, and incomplete.
And they're going to
Flag
give an
is
interference.
down, and that could be interference. It goes off of the hands of John James, and a flag goes thrown, and it looks like we're going to get interference. And it's an illegal man downfield, excuse me, against the Blues.
As you watch the replay down here, you can see, I don't see the man, but he had been bumped just a little bit over there, and I thought it was going to be the...
We have two flags, excuse me, Chuck. One at about the 30-yard line and the other one thrown. We could have offsetting penalties here. Or did both the officials see the same thing? Both the officials saw the same thing. It's going to be illegal man downfield against the Blues. Let's see if we can listen in to the call here.
Ineligible receiver number 14, White.
Yep, that was pretty as plain as day.
Yeah, it was. But, you know, when he threw that flag so far downfield, I thought he was throwing it on the
defensive back
for interference down there, because they did bump just a little bit. I thought it was coincidental contact, but obviously I was right.
1st and 15 at the 16-yard line. Dalton looks for the sideline and throws it, and it's going to be incomplete.
And a great catch. They need to recruit that fella. I'll tell you right now, that's a great catch on the sidelines there.
One of the fans here. Incomplete pass will stop the clock with 5:32. You know, the Blues really can't panic that much, Chuck. 5:32.
Double receiver downfield, right.
And
again, another ineligible receiver downfield.
Well, I don't know.
Flag was thrown up around the 20-yard line.
I don't know who that guy is, but they need to tell him to stay back here. He's killing them.
So they're going to back it up 5 more. That will take it back to the 11-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 20.
Well, I thought they had the right idea coming out here and throwing on 1st down and trying to catch the Greenies off guard, and really had the guy there, and it was just right off his fingertips. But you're right, Don. They don't need to panic here. There's plenty of time for a score.
Dalton will take out, going to throw it, and he'll be sacked back at about the 3. Coming from the blind side were the Greenies, and back there making the sack was Ben Lanigan. He'll sack Dalton back at the 3.
And Don, there's plenty of time, but not when you're having things like this happen to you. This whole drive right here is they've just been going the wrong direction.
Started out at the 21, and they're back to the 3-yard line now, where it'll be 3rd down and 28. Or excuse me, 2nd down and 28. They'll shift it out into the single wing. And up the gut. Here comes Stanton, and Stanton will carry it out across the 20 to the 21-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage.
And Stanton just one step away from a touchdown that time. I'll tell you, Langford just barely getting him. As you watch the replay, they switched into the single wing, and he finds a hole right in the middle, cuts it up. And if not for Langford, that was a touchdown-saving tackle right there.
3rd and 10. Dalton turns, hands it off, nothing doing. Nothing whatsoever. As Stanton this time will find no running room, and it will be 4th and 10. And with 4 minutes and counting in the ball game, Ron Bromley needs to decide.
Well, that helmet's messed up again, Don.
Yeah.
Seems like we've seen that helmet 3 or 4 games here.
Eric Buchanan makes a few adjustments to it, straps it back on. 4th and 10 at the 21.
Peter Barkman.
And punting time as John James goes back into punt formation. David Marsh will stand back around the 44-yard line to receive the kick.
A lot of hard hitting going on out here. Easier for those...
They go with a little fumble-rooski play, and
It Ruski backfired, I'll tell you. A lot of hard hitting. Easy for those helmets to get unadjusted out there, and I'll tell you, stuff like this, kind of expected them to do something, but that was kind of dangerous here. Plenty of time left in the ball game. I'd have gone down, punted that ball, held Christ School if any way possible, and gone back, tried to get a score again with the offense. I don't know about this.
But as it stands, 1st down and 10 for Christ School at the Blues 22-yard line with 3:25 and counting, and Christ School leading it 14-6.
Of course, it's a lot easier for us to stand up here and second-guess the coach because we're not down there having to make all the decisions.
And the center, number 55, comes up with a bit of a cramp. And he may have to head to the sideline. He's got a cramp in that leg and just can't bend over.
Well, if they stop play for him, of course, he's got to come out for one play.
And the man that will come in and replace him will be Peter Barkman. So Barkman, let's see if they move him into the center spot or they'll just move him up on the offensive line someplace. But right now, Palmer, the guy in that huddle, taking control. And it will be Barkman that will come in at center. So let's see how the center quarterback exchange goes. Dye goes in motion right side. Palmer takes out, gives it to Langford, and Langford struggles forward close to the 19-yard line. A pickup of about 3.
And we don't really look for anything fancy out of the Greenies right here, Don. Just hard, straight-ahead football and use up as much of that clock as they can.
Now they just want to watch the clock go, and Asheville School not using their timeouts to stop the clock right now. 2nd down and 7. Palmer takes out, almost fumbled it. Gives it to Langford. Langford slips 1 tackle and works his way down to close to the 15. Looks like they're going to mark him at about the 16-yard line.
Palmer doing a good job of holding on to the ball that time, just about let it get away from him. A turnover right now would definitely be in the favor of the Blues. They need to get that ball back.
2:05 and counting. Christ School wants to use as much time in that huddle and up on the line of scrimmage as they can. Palmer will lead them up, split backs behind him. Langford and Dye. Palmer takes out. He'll hand it off to Dye, trying to go right side, and Dye will work it down to the 15-yard line. That'll be another yard, and it will be 4th and about 3. And I don't think there's any decision at all here by Coach Knighton. He's going to go for it. There's no reason to try a field goal because you don't want it blocked and return for a touchdown up by 8.
Well, that's right, Don. I mean, you know, nothing to lose right here because the Greenies still got to, the Blues have still got to go down, score, and run 2.
Palmer up under center. 4th and 3. They'll pitch it back to Langford. Flags come down. Langford inside the 5, down to the 4. Let's see what the flags are about, though. Back at about the 13-yard line. More than likely, that's going to be against Christ School.
I'd say they had a hole down on the end down there.
That might a little technical difficulty there, but as you heard it or saw, a holding penalty against the Greenies, so they will back them back out to around the 25-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and about 13. Actually, they'll do it from the point of infraction, and that will bring the ball back to the 23-yard line, and it will be 4th down and about 9. And we've got a minute and counting.
All right. Run, clock run.
Palmer will send Dye in motion on 4th and 9. Wants to throw it. Looks across the middle. Throws. Has it complete, but not near enough for the first down as the completion goes to Ruckert at the 20-yard line. That'll be well short of the first down, and the Blues will take over.
As you watch the replay, Don, I don't really understand it. You'd think if you were going to risk throwing the ball that you would risk enough to get a first down, or you know, but just they love that middle pass, and they've used it a lot, and they just threw it again down there.
You know, you see Coach Bromley out there talking things over with the officials. So in my mind, that would make you think that you've got to be aware of a tackle-eligible play or something out of the ordinary here on this play.
Right, just, you know, he might have gone out there and said, now, watch for us here. We're going to do something a little different.
So it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Blues at the 20-yard line after they held on downs.
And, of course, the defense, on the defensive end of things, they're out there saying, listen, guys, you know, be ready for anything. Be ready for a reverse. Be ready for a screen. But be ready for this long pass. Now, they've got to get those defenders out there, and they're going to say, you know, bend but don't break. Give them something in front of you. Make sure you keep them in front. Give them a lot of cushion.
So 46 seconds left. They take out, turn, hand it off, trying to go reverse. They'll just throw it up for grabs, and it will be complete flag down. As Wallace Hester just threw it up for grabs. John James came down with it. At about the 23-yard line, a flag is down. Let's see what this is about.
Well, I'll bet you it's an illegal defender downfield, an illegal lineman downfield again.
And that is indeed what it was. So the Greenies were able to get back there and break up the play, and I believe that it was Trey Davis once again, Chuck, that was the man back there causing all the confusion. And Wallace Hester was a marked man.
Yeah, he was.
So 35 seconds left. They'll back them up here.
Well, Don, we can't stress, you know, this Blue defense come in here today with a heck of a reputation, but this Greenie defense has really risen to the task today. They have really played some inspired defense.
They really have. 1st and 15 at the 15 for the Blues. Dalton takes out, wants to throw. Has it complete. And, boy, some hard knocking going on out there as John Cooper hauls it in at about the 25, carries it forward to the 26. And the Blues are going to use another timeout as we watch the replay and watch the shots that Cooper takes.
I'll tell you, here 23 seconds left to go in this ball game, and they're still hitting as hard as they were at the beginning of the ball game, Don. I'll tell you, there has been some fantastic football play down on that field today.
So 23 seconds left. The Blues use a timeout.
Down on Fosu Field.
I was in there looking at the trophy room and whatnot. They've got certificates in there that recognize the basketball team and the Naismith Hall of Fame. They've got all kinds of fun memorabilia to go in there and take a look at.
And you know, our cameraman Bruce Chanley, his father played right here on this field in the 1930s, 1928 to 1930. Somewhere in there. So a definite connection with TRTV and the Fosu Field today.
2nd down and 4 for the Blues. Their own 26-yard line. Dalton in the shotgun. Under pressure, and down he goes. Back at the 17-yard line. Sacked back there by Davis and Barkman. And it's going to be 3rd and long with 14 seconds left. And probably time for just 2 more plays for Asheville School.
Well, you're right, Don. It's going to be throw 2 up if they can. Of course, with the way that pressure's been, he hasn't been able to get the pass off.
And right now, the Greenies just pinning their ears back and coming at him as the Blues will use their final timeout here. And Ron Bromley will talk things over with his offensive unit.
And they're going crazy over here on the Christ School side.
So Bromley finishes talking it over with his offense. 3rd and about 13. Back at the 17-yard line. And Dalton will go back in shotgun formation. Takes a snap. Under pressure. Lets it fly. It's going to be picked off by Langford. He'll return it back across the 20 to the 16. Flags come down, but that's going to wrap it up. The Greenies will get the win in the 61st meeting between the Greenies and the Blues.
That's right, Don. The flags came down like the snow was there in the first half. I'll tell you, I believe we probably had an illegal block. Yeah.
It's going to be a clip, but it really doesn't matter.
As you watch the replay here, you'll see just throw it up, just trying to get what they could get. And as you come back, you'll see it right there was the illegal block as one of the Blues was cut from below the knee.
Jay Langford with his 2nd INT of the game. And the Greenies here in front of us on the home side celebrating and getting ready to rush onto the field and enjoy the victory.
It is going to be a field of humanity as soon as that clock hits 0.
The ball will come back to the Blues 43-yard line. Just 3 seconds left. And all they're waiting for is they wind it up and count out the clock. That's it. The Greenies down the Blues 14-6 here this afternoon as the celebration begins.
And this is what it's all about, Don.
They pick up Coach Knighton, get him up on the shoulders, carry him out. The two teams out there shaking hands with one another, but it'll be the Greenies that will have the celebration tonight as Christ School downs Asheville School by 8 points here this afternoon, 14-6. And we'll come back and put a final wrap on things here from Martin when we return after this. Go the spoils, I guess one could say. A 14-6 victory for the Greenies over the Blues. Peter Conway, the headmaster here at Christ School, and of course Mike Knighton, the head coach of the Greenies. But Headmaster Conway, I tell you what, great game here this afternoon.
Well, these boys wanted it all week. They spent the whole week getting ready for this. It's been a couple of years since we've had it. They were coming back over here, and it was our time.
And Coach Knighton, nice to have the hardware back here.
Glad to have it back. They did a good job.
Just some of the keys as you saw them going through the ball game, as Chuck and I were looking at it, we thought really maybe the most important drive was the one that got you the 8-point lead. You drove into the win, but you took a lot of time off the clock as well.
Took time off the clock and, of course, padded the lead. Two important things.
Well, your team played great defensively. This has to be one of the best efforts out of your club all year long.
You're right. They played well defensively most of the way, but today was one of the best efforts.
Well, certainly congratulations, and we appreciate you having us over here.
Thank you very much.
All right, so the Greenies win it here this afternoon by a count of 14-6 over the Blues. And believe me, folks, they're going to enjoy the bragging rights that they get to have until they meet for the 62nd time, as we've had a lot of fun here this afternoon bringing you one of the oldest football rivalries between prep schools in the nation. My broadcast partner, Chuck Hill, and
the
for all
oldest
the
in the
folks
Southeast,
behind the
one of the
scenes,
oldest in the
I'm Don
nation.
Munson. We hope that you have a most pleasant evening.